First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX and WIBX950.com.
Peter Franklin is in the rain-filled New York City, where it's been the wettest summer on record, really the wettest year on record for New York City. Peter, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Send me a boat.
So the good news is, Peter, you did not get the you didn't get the direct hit on from the Hurricane Henri.
There you go.
Yeah, but do you notice it always happens? We hear for days, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. It's going to be the biggest. It's going to be the worst. It's going to be the most horrible flood in the history of mankind. And then it gets downgraded. The refreshing thing, as far as I'm concerned, refreshing is the right word, is that we're talking about something other than earthquakes.
Yeah.
Afghanistan,
yes,
and everything else that's going on. My goodness, we're talking about the rain.
That's a great way of looking at it, because it is.
And you know what's the best part about talking about the rain?
Yeah.
As you drive down the street, if you're a taxi driver, which I am, you see everybody standing on the sidewalk with pleading eyes, saying, "Oh, pick me up, please. Yeah. Pick me up, please."
There's a want and desire going on there. You know, the other thing is in New York, if you've ever been walking the streets and it's really nice out, all of a sudden a downpour comes. You can't find a taxi. You can't find an umbrella.
Right.
Nowhere.
You can find somebody trying to sell them for $10 each, but yes.
Well, yesterday a big day is, and despite the fact that the governor has had to step down, he's still saying, I only did it because there's just such craziness. I didn't do any of this. A lot of this was just political. But he did step down, and we have a new governor. Can you believe it, Peter Franklin?
Well, unbelievable. I have nothing to complain about, at least for a day or two. I mean, I've spent all this time and all these years talking to you, complaining to you about how I didn't like this guy, and now he's gone. It's kind of very anticlimactic.
It's funny. I was watching the special. I think it was on CNN on Saturday night. The Welcome Back New York City concert in Central Park. And if you saw, Peter, they just before the big acts came out, they had to shut everything down because there was a thunder and lightning storm coming in, and it looked like the police or fire department, whoever was handling safety, they shut everything down and said the event is canceled. But then de Blasio came up on stage and said, "No, we'll come back. We're going to do it in 20 minutes." And then the health department or the fire department came back on stage and said, "No, this event is canceled."
Don't listen to that guy.
So don't listen to de Blasio.
Pay no attention to the man who's mayor.
I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, well, it's moments like this that you folks feel, oh, it's so nice where we live as opposed to living in New York City.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work.
How are the schools reopening? Because there are a lot of parents that are saying, I want it to be this way, and other parents saying, I want it to be this way for my children.
It's just almost every possible emotion is going on because you have people, of course, and it's not so much different from where, you folks have it, but people who don't want to have remote classes, do want to have remote classes, should have a shot, shouldn't have a shot. In other words, there's so much agony that's going along with this. In the good old days when you and I both were young kids, we went to school and that was the end of it.
Yeah.
Now, everybody is mad at everybody else. Everybody's angry. The teachers' union are full of baloney because all their decisions are being made by how much money they can get.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just looking for a continuing vacation. No, I don't hate teachers, but I think they got a rotten union. So it's a real mess. And I've remarked a lot of times, my beautiful bride, aren't we glad that we don't have this problem now? I would hate to have school-age children, in school now and having to go to school and have the battle.
Or to be, as in studio, our partner here this morning, his wife is a teacher, my wife is a teacher, and it is, watching, and let's be honest here, most teachers are not they're union members, but they're not union executives. So a lot of times what these teachers are getting is the union's made a decision and it's handed down to the teachers, and this is what everybody's going to do.
Exactly.
So it's not always what the teachers want, but I can tell you this, and I despite the fact that I think my wife and Greeley's wife are nervous about the new variant and this thing spreading. They're nervous. Nothing do they want any more than being back in the classroom because it's so hard to do this remote stuff.
Yeah, and it's also that's what being a teacher is.
Yes.
I mean, the whole basis of being a teacher is having a bunch of kids sitting in front of you and not having this remote thing and having all the worries and what's going to happen and who's yelling at who and everything. It really is a mess, and it doesn't look like it's going to straighten itself out because no sooner than we seem to solve one problem, whoops, here comes another one.
Yeah. Yep. I may have to be back in New York City this weekend, Peter. What do you suggest? What warnings do you have for me?
You have to be more alert than usual. I mean, it's always something that I've always tell people. You have to be careful on the streets of New York because it's a big city and there's some bad people, and you got to be aware of your surroundings. I wouldn't be walking in any deserted alleys at 3 o'clock in the morning, but the places where you're likely going to go, no problem. There's enough people on the street, and the things that are happening is that everything bad that happens in New York, and I guess I'm guilty of it, it gets reported. You know, once upon a time, if somebody got robbed in Brooklyn, you never heard about it. Now, boy, will you hear about it.
Yeah.
Hey, Peter.
I don't remember saying you could come to New York, though.
That's a good point. I'll make it a written request later on today. So.
Hey, Peter. This is Greeley. I'm guest hosting with these guys today. They couldn't find anyone else.
Horace?
Yes, Horace. Yes, Greeley Square.
Okay.
Right.
So anyway, I used to go to New York a couple of times a month for many years. I have in the past year or so, but I almost became a local, not like you, but some of my favorite places. I'm wondering how they're doing right now, like Bryant Park. How is that? Have people returned there?
I mean, that's part of the strength of New York, of course, the parks, and the parks are nice, and during daytime, especially that one is a nice thing. There's an awful lot of stuff to do if you stay on the main routes of New York. So, I would, for a long time now, I've been telling people, don't come, but just be a little bit careful.
Yeah. And I have to say, you'll never find better hotel rates than right now in New York City.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you can wheel and deal, too, and you can say, and how much will it be for me? Don't be bashful.
Yeah. And, of course, it's Gabby.com. Check out the website, The True Tales. Peter, as always, we love our conversation with you. Thank you so much.
You got it, baby. Bye-bye.
Have a great day. Greeley in a wonderful mood today. I mean, Peter in a wonderful mood today.
Both of them, I would say.
And Greeley also is in a good mood.
It has to be because Governor Cuomo is now former Governor Cuomo.
Well, listen, nobody wishes bad on anyone. However, it's time for a new day, right?
Turn the page.
Let's turn the page.